Hollywood, 1933. May Robson, 50 years an actress, is honor guest at banquet. Lionel Barrymore makes this presentation.
To May Robson, congratulations on your 50 years devoted to entertaining the world on the stage and screen. And it's signed by all the executives and stars in the business. Beautiful, May.
Thank you.
May I add my congratulations?
Thank you, dear. I'll keep it all my life.
If Diana Wynyard established a distinct British presence in the Best Actress category, co-nominee May Robson also stands for certain trends that we see from time to time. She's the veteran who gets one moment in the sun and the typical supporting player who receives the rare invitation into the leading category. But how did she get to this point? May Robson was born in Australia in 1858, which should make her the earliest born acting nominee ever. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. In 1883, she started her acting career on the stage in New York, and she quickly found prominence as a comedian and character actress, and even created her own theatrical company in 1911. In 1927, she went to Hollywood and at the age of 69 started a movie career as a dependable, familiar and busy supporting player.
Maybe some of you people listening in dream about coming to Hollywood. And maybe some of you get pretty discouraged. Well, when you do, you just think about me. It took me over 60 years to get here, but here I am, and here I mean to stay.
In 1933 alone, besides Lady for a Day, her IMDb page lists 10 more movie appearances. 2 of them opposite co-nominee Diana Wynyard in Men Must Fight and Reunion in Vienna. Overall, she appeared in over 60 movies during her time in Hollywood. In 1938, she famously also supported her other 1933 co-nominee Katharine Hepburn in Bringing Up Baby. And other well-remembered parts include supporting roles in A Star is Born, Anna Karenina or Four Daughters. May Robson kept acting right until her death at the age of 84 in 1942 after the release of her last film Joan of Paris. In the career of May Robson, 1933 was a very special year as it marked the 50th anniversary of her work in show business. And what better way to celebrate than with an Oscar nomination for her work as Apple Annie in Frank Capra's popular hit Lady for a Day.
Hey, where do you think you're going? Don't tell me.
Shut up, you pasty-faced palookas!
May Robson's nomination was warmly received by the press, and according to some outlets, she was also the runner-up to eventual winner Katharine Hepburn. She was a very popular presence in Hollywood, the kind of instantly recognizable performer who always delivers appealing work and who deserves this kind of attention at least once during her long career. Her nod for Lady for a Day obviously also made her the oldest Best Actress nominee so far, but she would hold that title for more than 30 years until it was taken over by Edith Evans for The Whisperers. With her rising level of recognition, many in Hollywood saw May Robson as the natural successor to Marie Dressler, who would die from cancer 1 year later. After her death, the press wrote, "When Marie Dressler answered her last curtain call, we expressed the opinion that she had left a niche that no character actress would ever fill. After having acclaimed the portrayal of the role of Apple Annie, there was a feeling that we had been a little hasty in voicing this belief." May Robson was called a complete master of emotions, who can cry and laugh with equal facility, and furthermore possesses the happy knack for sharing these moods with her audience in a way only Marie Dressler could as well. Both actresses actually start together in Dinner at 8.
In here, Carlotta. Will that be about all, ma'am? I hope so. Thank you, ma'am. Millicent! Ducky! I never was so glad to see anyone in all my life, my dear.
However, even with her Oscar nomination, May Robson did not become the kind of unusual leading lady that Marie Dressler became in the final years of her life thanks to the success of Min and Bill. May Robson remained the typical character actress who shined on the side and let others take the central spotlight. So how did she manage to get a Best Actress nomination in that supporting career? Apparently, director Frank Capra initially wanted to cast, who else, Marie Dressler in Lady for a Day. But MGM did not intend to lend out its biggest star. However, the studio did not have such qualms about May Robson, who was also their contract player, and lent her out to Columbia instead for the part of Apple Annie.
Hello, Annie.
Hello, Joe. Didn't keep you waiting, did I?
You got a great racket, Annie. Get a couple of more suckers like the dude, you can retire in a year.
Oh, pull up your chin. Happy you're liable to step on it.
Yeah, never mind the change.
God bless you.
Lady for a Day then premiered in September 1933 and was popular with both critics and audiences, and ultimately received 4 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture. Critics described the movie as one of the most entertaining of the year and a fantastic yet real and human fairy tale.
Oh, there's Mummy. She recognizes me. She recognizes me.
The success of Lady for a Day obviously also rubbed off on May Robson. Playing the central character of Apple Annie and therefore the titular Lady for a Day, critics agreed that the success of the story rested on her shoulders and that she was beautifully up to the task, applauding her work as the greatest characterization of her career that should endear her to all, and she was called outstanding in her sympathetic portrayal, never forced, never overdrawn, but ever effective. Everyone agreed that her excellent portrayal of a colorful character propelled May Robson to new movie stardom.
I won't go till I get my letter.
I'll be compelled to call the police.
Well, call the police. Call anybody you like. I'm not a criminal.
And I agree that May Robson is indeed a delight in Lady for a Day. Her scenes in the beginning of the movie offer probably the strongest moments in this year's lineup. Her Annie, contrary to Diana Wynyard's Jane, feels like a living, breathing and multidimensional creation, because May Robson feels completely natural and at home with every aspect of Annie's character. She can be short-tempered, humorous, mischievous or appealingly honest without ever losing the core of Annie's personality.
Thank you, Oscar. That bunch is going to cost you 50 cents.
50 cents? Why, you never charge me more than 2 bits.
It's conditions, Annie. People don't leave things in their rooms anymore. Do you know it's got so bad I've got to go and buy my own toothpaste?
Why, that's awful, Oscar.
May Robson constantly changes the tone in her performance without making it feel like an interruption, finding humor in serious moments or switching from moving sincerity to angry outbursts in mere seconds, but never dropping Annie in the process.
I wasn't feeling so good Saturday.
Drinking again, huh?
Who? Me? Why, dude, I ain't touched a drop in weeks.
Well, cut it out. Doc Michel says your kidneys are all shot.
Dr. Michel's an old fool. He don't know what he's talking about.
Come on, Annie.
Oh, will you do it for me? I won't bother you anymore.
Take her out of here.
Honestly,
Come on, Annie.
I won't.
You might have to run in.
You got to tell her I'm
Come on,
dead.
never mind.
She can't find me.
Come on, get out.
He can't.
And she also gets extra points for playing a believable drunk in a time when many others played such moments purely for laughs or as a caricature.
I thought so. On a bat again. Where are your apples?
Come in. The butler will take your things. Didn't know I had a butler, did you, dude? I got lots of butlers. Millions of them.
Where you been, you old buzzard? I've been looking for you all day.
So good of you to come down for the hunting season. Everyone always comes down for the hunting season.
Dude, let's get out of here. Every time she gets crocked, she starts pulling that society stuff.
And May Robson also thankfully never tries to turn Annie's true character into a nice little lady in those early moments, asking for the audience's sympathy. She's not afraid to show Annie as a stubborn, rough and maybe even rude woman who doesn't want anyone to love or even like her. However, it is still completely plausible that so many other characters feel an affection for Apple Annie and want to help her out, simply because May Robson brings a certain charm to her role that shines even when Annie is at her lowest.
Susie, how's business?
Not so good over at the Apollo.
Well, go over to the casino. They got a hit over there.
That's all? I'll go right over. Thanks.
Yeah. You know, if you change your tune once in a while, perhaps you'd have better luck, huh?
So the first 20 minutes of Lady for a Day present some wonderful moments by May Robson, not only showing insight into the daily life of Apple Annie, but also her secret second life. Annie has a daughter that is being raised at a Spanish convent and thinks that her mother is a rich socialite who is too ill to make a voyage across the sea. This gives May Robson a chance for the almost obligatory secret heart of gold moments, but she again does not make them too obvious or a pure plea for sympathy.
Breaks my heart that I have not been able to see you all these years. But Dr. Michel, the old crab, still says it would be fatal for me to make an ocean voyage. Your stepfather thought he might make the trip this year. You didn't know you had a stepfather, did you?
The story then takes the expected turn as Annie's daughter Louise informs her that she will soon come to New York together with her rich fiancé and his father, who all want to meet her rich mother. But while this turn of events might be expected, the treatment of May Robson's character is surprising and unfortunate. To get Annie out of her troubles, Lady for a Day displays the unmistakable Capra touch and almost completely drops her character in the process.
What are they doing now?
They're kissing. Is Annie happy?
Yeah, she's crying.
All of Annie's friends work together to help her create a charade of being the rich socialite she has written about to her daughter. But this means that the focus of the movie from now on lies on all the trouble her friends have to get through, which also includes kidnapping various journalists to prevent the story from coming out. But this also means that Apple Annie plays almost no role in her own story anymore. She becomes a passive side character who nervously hopes that everything will go well while also enjoying the time with her daughter.
Mother,
Yes, my sweet.
you don't think anything can happen, do you?
Happen?
Oh, I guess I've just been foolish. Maybe it's because I've been wishing so hard. Mother, did you ever wish for anything so hard that...
Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen.
There is a sad irony in the fact that May Robson's one breakthrough into the rank of leading actresses actually came with a role that might not be much larger than many of the others she played in her life. I don't want to call it a supporting role, as Apple Annie is clearly the central and most relevant character to the story, but she is almost dropped completely before the halfway mark of the movie and only makes some occasional returns, and even some media outlets in 1933 called it a secondary role.
Thank you so much. I'm deeply flattered.
That is certainly annoying, because Apple Annie is the most interesting character in the movie, and I would love to spend more time with her than Lady for a Day is giving us. And what is even more annoying is that not only has the movie forgotten about Apple Annie, May Robson herself also completely changes the tone of her performance. Apple Annie does not only get a big apartment and a new look, by this guy by the way, who really should get a movie of his own.
Oh, wait a minute, he can't go in there.
It's all right, dude. It's all right.
But she also gets a whole new personality.
It's going to be funny when she finds out her mother is Apple Annie. Why don't you laugh, huh? Why don't you laugh? If anything should happen, you'd never hate your mother.
Oh, Mommy, don't say things like that, darling. Oh, please don't say things like that.
Is the Count still in the drawing room?
It's clear that Annie needs to adjust her behavior to make her daughter believe her story, but there is no process in this change, just a result. Annie is a new person from one moment to the next. There's not even a My Fair Lady-like training montage, which could have provided endless opportunities for comedy, drama and character development.
I'll never forget you for this, dude.
The movie gives us this short scene that might explain this sudden shift.
I remember Annie when she looked like that all the time.
But we never get any further insight into this. We never learn more about Annie's background or about her past. We only get these two completely opposite characters without any connection. Not even later scenes, when Annie's story is in danger of being exposed as a lie, are used by May Robson to bring the old Annie back.
What are we going to do? What if the police should come here? What'll I say to the Count? What'll I say to Louise?
Now be quiet, Annie. The police aren't coming here.
I know Louise, poor dear Louise. She's such a sweet girl, lovely girl. Don't you think she's lovely, Judge?
Why, of course.
But I do have to say that, even if May Robson gets shockingly little to do in the second half of Lady for a Day, and even if her characterization is not consistent, I do enjoy both extremes of her work. Her refined Annie is not completely logical, but May Robson is moving and tender in her scenes opposite Annie's daughter, and also absolutely heartbreaking when she is close to revealing the truth. Again, it doesn't really make sense for Annie to act this way, but May Robson makes you forget about all this.
You knew nothing about us. It would have been terrible if after they were married you had found out that her mother was someone you would be ashamed of.
someone that even she would have been ashamed of.
Still, it's hard not to think of this as a performance of wasted opportunities, both by Capra and by Robson. She certainly did the best she could under the circumstances, but I just wish she had been A. given more to do, and B. been allowed to make it more consistent. Still, it is a moving, effective and memorable performance with the right mix of comedy and drama that succeeds within its limitations, but also doesn't present a completely logical character and suffers from the way Apple Annie is written and presented. May Robson clearly understood her character and had the necessary quality to bring her to life, but we unfortunately only get a glimpse of what could have been. And finally, let's take a look at the winning performance.